Alrighty, today we're going to be doing a New Game Plus run of Like a Dragon Ishin. Alright, and once I click the X button it starts. There we go.
Ishinの英雄
I don't know if I like that there. Hard to see the prompts for the skipping and such. Alright. Not a huge fan of using a timer, but for this game it is required. Alrighty. Let's see if we can do better than last time. I think I was at like 345-ish. Oof. A lot of these speedrunning discords are super toxic. I actually bounced out of the one for this game because one of the super mods was being a complete dick, and I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm not interested anymore in talking to you. I was like, what the fuck, man? Like, I talk in there every couple of days, and he was just like saying something about, why do you reply to literally everything in here? And I'm like, I don't. But whatever, if you don't want me here, I can leave. It's not that hard of a consideration to make. I thought I was honestly contributing some relatively decent things, but never mind. Okay. Yay. I suck at parrying. It's not a mechanic I usually use in a game. Alright, one more time, buddy. Oh boy, OBS is doing that weird thing where it keeps welcoming me to the chat room over and over again. Sometimes it does that when I have my VPN turned on, but I'm pretty sure it's not on right now. Anyways, just in case it is. I quit out. But yeah, for a very long time, I've hated how series games are moderated. Normally, when a new game comes out, the first person to run the game is added as a mod, typically. um, but yeah, that's not how it works with series games. Whoever submitted the series thing is usually just put on all the games, even if they don't play them or contribute to the discords for them, which for me is just kind of like meh. I was bound to trigger that one way or the other. I forgot to put the side quest hat on, so I'll have to do that. Shouldn't be an issue, though. Ugh, I actually have to be hit to guard. That's fun. Come on, buddy, you can do it. Alrighty. Doesn't register unless I hit him, I guess. Yeah. At least I didn't accidentally... Oh, it does want me to trigger heat. Alright, are we happy yet, game? Didn't want to do the webcam today. Wasn't feeling it. Like, I'm really pasty and I shaved yesterday. Oh boy, my dog's being a dildo now. But yeah, because my monitor is relatively close to my face, it just looks kind of funny because my face looks like it's absorbing all the colors of the monitor. So I was like, nah. But yeah, this is just another one of the several speedrunning communities that I'm like, no thanks. Like, I was in the Tales of Speedrunning Discord, and there's a couple games in there that haven't been played, and I played 2 of them recently. And one of the people in there, despite one of the games not having been run by literally anybody, was like, oh, we're gonna put you in an emulated category. I'm like, okay, why though? You don't do it for this game. Like Tales of Eternia, for instance, which is a game I'm playing right now. And they just didn't have an answer, you know, they're just like, oh, this is just how it's gonna be. I was like, okay. Do whatever you want, I guess. It's just kind of annoying, because on the website, like, speedrun.com, you can't see my run unless you click emulation. And there's no other runs there to look at. So I was like, okay, if that's how you want to do it. I was actually trying to take over modding that game because the person who was supposed to be verifying my run took longer than the normal time that speedrun.com allows for such a thing, but dealing with speedrun.com directly is a pain in the ass too, so I was just like, fuck this shit. It's so annoying that it... God damn it. It doesn't count using a special bullet if you string it as a combo. There we go. But yeah, typically speedrun.com doesn't allow you to reject runs based off not including a timer in the video. And I'm playing this on a console, not PC, so it's just kind of weird to me that this game series forces you to have a timer in there, but whatever. I just feel like it's inelegant, and it's annoying to see on my screen. Regardless of how small I put it, it just somehow annoys me to look at it. Like, because I just know exactly like how long I've been playing the game, and I'm like, is that good? Is this bad? It just... it's just not my style, I guess, but whatever. I was like, I might as well rerun this one more time before I move on to my next game, because it's still fresh in my head, mostly. Alright, I get it. I get it. Long pan scene. It's especially silly in my opinion, because this game, who the fuck is gonna watch this run? Like, it's a boring run to watch. It's maybe 40 minutes of gameplay, and mostly just skipping cutscenes. Like, who wants to watch that? I don't, but it's all good. Oh my god, this slow walking is so annoying. Oof. But yeah, there are just a lot of man-children in speedrunning in general. Gets old really fast. Like, speedrunning games has pretty much been my hobby for a long period of time. And I've never, like, really officially done runs until kind of recently. I think I've only been on the boards for, like, a year. Because I just didn't have a computer or whatever. Or just didn't feel like doing runs or had other things going on in my life, like jobs and stuff. Oh boy. I hate these corridors. They're so narrow. Oh yeah, this is a QTE. Alright, are all those buddies taking a nice little dirt nap? The Masked Man. Oh boy. But yeah, it tends to be the case that when somebody's moderating for a series speedrun versus just an individual game, that they just only care about like one particular series of speedrunning. So they don't like know how other games work. And it's just like you have to do what they say or your run won't be valid, regardless of how arbitrary the reasoning is. And regardless of the fact if it breaks speedrun.com's official rules. Which this one technically does, so fancy shit. But I have a feeling all games are gonna move to timer required. I don't like the rule in general, but it's whatevs. Ugh, YouTube takes forever to process 4K video too. Oh well. Like at one point I had a world record for Forspoken, but because I didn't have a timer on that, the mods wouldn't put my game in. And I'm like, dude, you barely have any runs. Like, timers usually go on games like, I don't know, Elden Ring, Dark Souls, highly competitive games where there's more than like 10 runs. Not games where there's only a few runs. But whatever. What do I know? Okay. Like, we've already had, like, tutorials on how to use the sword, so why is this scene even happening? I'm a big non-fan of tutorials. They just annoy the shit out of me. Like, I like it when a game is like, oh hey, here's the tutorials, they're in your menu. If you care enough to figure out certain things, go in there and click on it. But I have a feeling that the reason they're included in this game is because padding, for the most part. I'm going the wrong way. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah. This scene has to happen first before the other one does, I guess. Oh, well. I did forget some stuff. It's kind of funny, too. This game has, like, a feature that will switch your weapon for you automatically based on what the game thinks is the best weapon for you to be using at that point in time. But the game switches your weapon regardless of that thing being turned on, like, fairly regularly. Probably because of the cutscenes. Like, it'll have a cutscene where it's showing you with a sword, and then it's like, you must have one. Oh, you fucking dildo. Get the hell off my... I hate it when people put this shit on my weight. Ugh. Of course they're gonna do it to me on a speedrun, too. Alright, go away. Let's see here. And they are banned. Jackasses. If you ever get one of those messages and you're tempted to buy primes or views or whatever, like, you're gonna eventually get found out and have your entire... get banned from Twitch in general, so, you know, cool stuff. You can pretty much tell that somebody's bullshit when they've, like, made their account the same day that they start posting on shit. That would be a dead giveaway that, it's probably a bot. Oh no. I left the lid on my water. As though I don't understand the concept of hiding. I used to play hide and go seek as a kid. I think I got it. Oh, that dickhead turned around. Awesome. The determined to catch me. The last time I played, I got lucky and they like went somewhere else and I was just able to get in there really quick. The run and hide stuff in this game is ultra buggy. Sometimes you'll see like a cart spinning around, which is kind of hilarious. Time to go to the hotel. It must be a very important location because the game makes you go there like 100 freaking times. But yeah, I think I have like 7 or 8 world records that don't have timers on them, so I was getting really annoyed when the people in the chat were trying to gaslight me that all the games do that, and I'm like, maybe all the games of this series, but not all the games. Like, one trend I've noticed too is like, especially if a game has become expensive or hardware has become outdated or hard to find, like typically emulation is allowed, but some series are like, no, we don't want to have emulation in here, and I'm like, okay, but why though? All you're doing is making the game probably never going to be run. Because nobody's going on eBay and buying a PlayStation 1 and a $300 game that's hard to find, and a controller, and probably the cables will be separate too, and hooking all that shit up through their capture card, which is a further expense just to speedrun a game. Like, a lot of mods I think are just ridiculous with what they want. But, I don't know, I mod 2 games and people there seem to be respectful, so it can be done more than one way, in my opinion. I actually wrote a whole YouTube script about how moderation is largely a myth on speedrun.com anyway. There's lots of cheating in speedrunning, in case you didn't know. You dildo. Come here and die. Yeah, right before that cutscene. That happened to me my last run too. I hate QTEs. I hate unskippable cutscenes. I like this game overall though. I like how that attack hit him for 400, but didn't kill him. I don't even think he has 400 HP total. Let's hope I can at least save 5 minutes off my last run. I think 340 would be pretty good. It's crazy though, people on PC are already getting kind of close to that time, so it must load a lot faster than the console is my guess. I haven't ran it side by side, but I also don't plan on buying the game twice just to test something like that. And a lot of people will mess with their shaders when they're doing speedruns too. Just like on the PS5, you can rebuild your database and it'll go faster. It's just a pain in the ass, because you have to do it with a cable that's connected to your controller. And I have like that little charging station thing, so I don't have an extra cable lying around for that purpose. So it means I usually have to disconnect something else just to like plug my controller in. It's a pain. Is that a golden sneak? I thought those didn't show up until like around chapter 4, but guess I could be wrong. And I got a new seal, and I won't be saving the save file, so hilarious. Ugh, I need to turn the air back on. The weather here has been really bipolar. It'll be like 30 or 40 degrees one day and then like 80 the next. I'm like, cool. I think it's just this room in particular has a vent in it, and when I close the door, it just gets hot in here really quick because it's upstairs and heat rises and yada 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 yada. We're on our way to Makudugai. Ah yes, just 3 short more hours and this run will be done. Well, ish. We'll see how it goes. The Dead Man's Quarter. I suggest you don't stay long. Look sharp. It's right there. Up ahead. Ah, yes. We just saw it in a cutscene, but let's put another cutscene in where we stare at it. Luscious. Look at those views. I think we just get in a fight with that one dude with the black robe. I tried to give this story a chance, but it's just so long-winded. It says very little with a lot of words. And it has... I haven't played all the Yakuza games, but it has the exact same twist as one of the other Yakuza games, so... I was just like, really? Technically, this game came before that game. Not the remaster, however. I was just like, yeah, that wasn't all that much of a shocker. Being that they just never kill anybody in Yakuza games for the most part. This game actually does kill some people, though. Unimportant people, for sure. Alrighty. I think we're set with that. Just shoot everybody up. Gangsta style. Man, it is just so hilarious to me, like, every time you get in a fight with anybody, you, like, chat with them before and after, for the most part. I'm like, okay. For that reason, this game feels kind of like an anime to me. Like, I won't tell you your name until you tell me yours. It's just so stupid. Like, it's so cliched, beyond cliche. I just wish they would do away with that line in every anime, every video game, and Japanese culture in general. I also have a feeling that PCs are going to become more prevalent, and that console runs won't really be a thing anymore. Supposedly, Sony's already working on the PlayStation 6. But how long they can keep hardware cheap like that is anybody's guess. I mean, I think many people would argue already that it isn't very cheap. But yeah, that's one thing I'm not a huge fan of with regard to speedrunning, is it's largely like skill, yeah, has a lot to do with it, but the prevalency of cheating and people who just have like, you know, $5,000 computers, like putting a $5,000 PC up against like an $800 PC usually is gonna favor the person who has the more expensive equipment. So when people act like speedrunning is like super fair, I'm just always like, sure it is. Alrighty, can I leave yet? Shazam. I wonder if these guys will take me to Mibu right now. I figured not. Okay. Yeah, and I need to put the hat on before I forget. I think it has like an exclamation mark. Just prevents me from accidentally walking into people that won't shut the fuck up for 5.5 years. Because a lot of the sub-stories can be triggered just simply by walking near the person, which is really annoying for speedruns. It's actually a good thing when you're trying to complete all the sub-stories. Goodbye, sir. But yeah, in the case of Forspoken, when I was speedrunning that, like, it was especially egregious because the person who was put in charge of the game got mod off of demo percent, and they had 3 rules that were illegal listed in the game rules, which I was like, the fuck? They were allowing for segmented runs, and I was like, you know that's not a thing, right? Like, she's like, well, what if my cat, like, jumps up on my keyboard and, like, interrupts my run? I'm like, lock your cat out of your office or whatever, but that's not a thing. Like, just look at the general rules. Like, whatever. It's all good. There's just no bar to entry for moderators. Like, anyone can moderate a game. If there's no category for a game, go find one and you can moderate it. No one will ever probably play it but you. if it's like really obscure, but you can be a moderator with zero experience. Which is kind of insane to me. Because, like, the moderation rules, it's like, at the very least, you should be heavily involved with the game. And that's not always the case. But with Forspoken, the person was like, I don't want to run a Discord. I'm like, then you don't need to be moderating the game. If you're too lazy to moderate a Discord, it takes like 8 seconds to set up. Oh boy. But I tried to join that speedrunning Discord and it was in German, which I thought was kind of hilarious. I was like, okay, whatever. That's how we're gonna do it, I guess. I love that when you end a battle, usually a dude is just flying backwards, and then like the camera's like inadvertently looking up his skirt or kimono or whatever he's wearing. Just kind of cracks me up. But yeah, the Yakuza series has always been kind of hilarious like that. Over the top silliness. Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure that one's not skippable. It's funny though, because a lot of people get really bitchy about like New Game Plus runs too. They're like, oh, it's so easy, it requires no skill. I'm like, it involves completely different strategies and requires usually a lot of grinding, so. But yeah, if you think it takes no skill, then okay, whatever. It's funny though, because a lot of the New Game Plus runs that I've done have a lot more views on them than vanilla runs, because vanilla runs are longer, and people only have so much fucking capacity to pay attention to certain things, so it just makes me giggle that people just think that the way that they run the game is always the best way. I'm like, okay, sure, be delusional. You must be real fun to hang out with. Yikes. Man in white. Very important man. I love it that they can block bullets with their frickin' sword. It's very silly, in my opinion. I think the first piece of media I've ever seen where somebody's blocking a bullet with a sword was Beverly Hills Ninja, which is a movie with Chris Farley. God rest his soul. Sucks that he died so young. Oof. It's so funny to me too, like the concept of having a timer built into your overlay. Like, it's not that hard to fake that. For instance, I can put a media file in OBS, and then I can just overlay a timer on top of it and resubmit the run as though it had the timer on it all along, even though it doesn't. So it's just silly to me that that would be a rule, but here we all are. This game also has another rule that isn't, like, you can have it, it's just like frowned upon in general. Like, you have to have the audio turned on, which is fine, I guess. Like, I wouldn't want to play a game with no audio. That would be kind of weird. It would be boring. But I oftentimes turn off people's dialogue because, one, it could potentially impact load times, and two, it gets really old hearing people's voice get clipped over and over again. Like, I'm like, oh god, I don't want to listen to that for 4 hours. Nope. But the audio one, I think, makes more sense to me because it's really obvious if you clip audio for the most part, which could be a sign of tampering with the video, editing stuff out, yada yada. Man, getting unlucky with these random encounters. I hate it when games do input reading. This game definitely input reads. It is not my favorite thing to see, but it happens in a lot of games. Of course. Let's see if I can get away from them. Looks like we're fine there. There's almost always enemies in this alley, but thankfully not this time. Hello, adult man. Would you like to be given a free child? Like, yikes. With how prevalent, like, grooming and stuff is in the media these days, you would think that they would have steered away from this part of the game, but what do I know? I felt like she was kind of an odd thing to just shoehorn in the game, because she doesn't talk very much. And she doesn't really have much of a story beyond, like, you have decided to take on her debt for this house, sort of a thing. Plus, it annoys me that the game slow pans over everything in the house and on the farm, and then you have to interact with all of it. I'm like, okay. I get it. I know what a farm looks like. Uh-huh, I've seen a kitchen before, yep. I know that I make food in a kitchen. Yeah, sounds good. I know that the shrines are for praying. That's already, like, been introduced, okay. But show me again. So much game padding. And not only do they slow crawl over it all, then they force you to do tutorials. I'm like, Neato. You could have done both of those at the same time if you were, knew how to overlay words over a cutscene, but whatevs. It is what it is. We're just gonna slow pan over that really quick here. It's gonna be the most important thing in the game. Even though you can choose not to interact with it throughout the whole run. Oof. Farming mini games. I really wish those would just go away. Fishing mini games are also kind of arbitrary, and they're just in so many games now. It drives me bananas. Just not a fan of wasting a lot of my time on mini games. Even if the game wants to hide like some of the best equipment behind those mini games, for the most part, I don't play them anymore. I'm just like, I don't have as much time as I did as when I was a kid to do that kind of stuff. When I was a kid was a long time ago. Look at those dead eyes just staring at me for like 30 seconds. So creepy. It'd be kind of funny if they patched this game and allowed you to skip the cutscenes. It would kind of force everybody to rerun the game. But it would be a lot more watchable of a speedrun. And a lot more skill-based. Yeah, that's what I thought. I was just double-checking. This game loves to take your fast travel away. It's usually kind of difficult to get through there without getting stopped, so... Oh my. Can see his little man thong. God damn it. Alright, I'm tapping the button. Can we move on? Yeesh. Oh joy. That's one I don't think I can avoid. That haircut. Oh dear God. That haircut gives me nightmares. But I know it's a period-specific haircut. It's really crazy to me because in Japan, like, around this time period, it was perfectly normal for people to have, like, kids as their apprentice and to do things that you shouldn't do to children, to those particular children, which is yucko. But, I mean, it happened in Greek culture, too. Roman culture. Yowza. I feel like my computer's warmer than normal, but I was doing video editing, so that tends to crunch the PC pretty hard. It's kind of crazy because in the winter, like, we can pretty much heat this room just with having the PCs be turned on and closing the door, which saves us a pretty good amount of money in the winter on gas. Because this house, unfortunately, has a gas bill. Unlike the last house we lived in, everything was all electricity. The annoying thing is, too, that we have to pay for the gas, even though we don't use it most months. There's like some kind of delivery surcharge for like $15. Really? It's a lot of annoying shit to put there. I was like, I could have to talk to that annoying lady. I might have to get in another random fight. Thankfully we didn't, though. You did good talking to that girl on that bridge. Oof. Oh boy. Just stay away from me, buddy. We ain't friends. Where am I going? And yes, fast travel is unlocked right now, so that's good. Man. Random encounter city today. I was just remembering that sub-story for that guy. If you complete it, he'll give you a manly bento as long as there isn't one in your inventory. And I just thought that was like a really funny name for the item. Manly bento. As though it was never manly to cook your own food. Like, it just kind of cracks me up. like a lot of animes and video games will depict like it's like the ultimate honor if a girl like makes you lunch or something, and I'm like, what if you're gay though? And also, what if you're a better cook than that hoe? Just, it's a weird thing to revere for me, but I didn't grow up in that culture, so you know. Clearly it's not going to be the same as the culture here. There's a lot of cool things about Japanese culture though. But just like here, there's also a lot of annoying tropes as well, so I think one of the crazy things going on there right now is like that a lot of younger people are working for like black companies, which basically just work you to death. And there's been a lot of suicides and stuff there, unfortunately. But people get paid very little to do like an equivalent job that you would do in the US and Japan. Like, I've heard their economy isn't doing so well because of all the... It has the highest proportion of people over the age of 65 in the globe. So if you got a lot of retired people that are drawing off of social services, where do you think that money comes from? Probably the people that are working. It's not to say that that's a bad thing, it's just burdensome when nobody will fucking die. But I don't know, if you're healthy and like you're doing well, like I don't think anybody really wants to die, obviously. It's just crazy that like the world has changed so much to where you can just live for a really long period of time and it's hard to account for, financially speaking. But I know that in Japan there's like a reverence for elderly people as well. They are to be given respect. I feel like it's kind of the opposite here. Like, young people here are like, okay, boomer, sure, shut the fuck up. Like, but I think that's mostly because older people in the US had it a lot easier than younger people do now, currently have it. At least financially speaking. If you were a guy and not black. Because racism is definitely a factor more back then. Unfortunately still a factor today though. Fun shit. But in my Discord the other day I was chatting with a friend and talking about how ridiculous YouTube has gotten lately, like with right-wing like crazies starting up nonsense channels. Like, oh my gosh. I left Facebook because people started getting all psycho and political. Like, it just got really old for me. And now I feel like YouTube has just gotten like way out of whack with that stuff recently. And the algorithm it's trying to like sell me right-wing stuff, and I'm like, I'm on the more left side of the spectrum, so I don't care to hear that stuff. But it's been shoving it down my throat a lot lately, and I'm like, the fuck? I'm like, it's all well and good that people who want that content can go and find it, just don't shove it down my throat, please. Yowza. Oh, what am I doing? I just need to go to Mibu. Yeesh. Brain malfunction. I forgot to do that a couple times on my last run and it was wasting time. So I'm glad I remembered it this time. This fucking dildo. Gonna make me slow walk around the whole property. The game doesn't trust me enough to look around myself. And he's not even talking to us, which is weird. But he will sit there and eye bang you no matter where you're at. He just like turns around and shit. Maybe he just thinks our main character is handsome. Dear God. Game padding much? Are we set, dude? Come on. I think we have to talk about this house for some reason. Structure, rather. I don't recall what that particular structure does. But it's important enough for him to tell us about it. I keep meaning to look up those weird, like, samurai duck feet sock things, because they're... Like, I don't get why there's, like, such a huge gap between, like, the big toe and the next toe over. I'm like, surely not everybody's toes look exactly like that. It's just really odd to me. I was curious if there was some reasoning behind it. Here's your room. We already explained that you had a room earlier, but we need to tell you again. Ay, ay, ay. Alright. And I mean, if all the dialogue was skippable that quickly, like, I wouldn't care about the cutscenes being not skippable. Like, Soul Hackers 2 does that. Like, it has super duper fast, text skipping. But the problem with that is that on the PC, you can unlock the frame rate completely. So it'll just push out as fast as your PC can process it, I guess. But on the console, it doesn't do that, so... Man. That guy just made us walk around the whole complex, but they couldn't have just told me what this guy's information was while that was happening. Yowza. My fast travel man is gone. So sad. Yeah, it's getting melty in here again. Where am I headed this time? I think we have to go in the alleyway and then the dude talks to us and then we run right back to where we were. Which is obnoxious, considering there are couriers all over the freaking place delivering stuff. I'm like, just send it to me in a freaking letter. And then they can find me instead of me having to find them every 3 seconds. Ugh. Okay. I thought I was gonna get in a fight, but I think we got around that. Plus, I was running out of stamina, so I was like, shit, I'm gonna run out of stamina and have to fight these dickheads right before this cutscene happens. But we got lucky. Head to Hinata, which is way over here. And all the fast travel is locked again. Awesome. General Good seems like a weird name to me for products. Like, the goods are general, but are they also good? Like, they can't be both. I don't know. No matter what I do, this guy bumps into me. I'm pretty sure. I wonder if I could skip that cutscene by fast traveling over here directly. Probably can. The design of the glasses in this game looks really uncomfortable. Like, it looks like they go all the way around your ears, which, no thanks. I can't imagine, like, having all that crap in your hair, too. Having your head weigh, like, an extra 3 pounds because of all the ornamentation. That shit would hurt your neck. And, like, the 83 layers of clothes everybody wears in here. It might be fine when it's, like, cold out, but... dude. I hate it when I wear, like, layers of clothing. I just get hot really easily, so it drives me nuts. Come on. we just going... Nope. We're going to Mibu again. Probably would have been faster if I went backwards to the other fast travel people, but not by very much. Most of the places in this game where it's easy to make mistakes are at the beginning, so... Because for most of the first chapter you don't have waypoints, you're just kind of wandering around. And the fast travel people are mysteriously missing again. Woo woo. Game padding much? But yeah, the whole point of these speedrunning discords is usually so people can share information and debate like what categories that they want to see, difficulties, etc. Ugh, but most of the time the series run discords, they're like, these are the rules that we have across all the games, so I'm like, there is no interaction into what will or will not be allowed, like, it's predetermined, which just pisses me off. I'm like, if you're just gonna do it, treat every game like it's the same fucking game, then why even have the Discord other than to, you know, share tips and tricks? Okay, dildo. Yeah, you blocked all that while you were swinging your sword at me. Totes. I should have just hit him with a flame round. Or my sword. Either one. Alright, nighty-night, buddy. But yeah, so many people get butthurt over there being like too many categories or not enough categories or too many difficulties, options, blah 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 blah. I don't know. The two games I run, I'm like, why not? If somebody wants to run and get a de facto world record, like, having one more runner in the game doesn't bother me any. But it just seems to me like there's a lot of people that are like, oh, I don't want any more runners in this game. And I'm just like, yikes. If you don't want to run against anybody, then why the fuck are you moderating anything at all? It's just ridiculous. Why am I turned around? Wait a sec, I think I saw the fast travel thing up there. Oh my god, I hate it when they have the hoods on. Because then they talk to you afterwards. Oh my god, I just got done with some of these dickheads and they put more right there. Oh well. Such is life. I honestly don't think there's a way around not having to deal with this cutscene, because of how often it is beneficial for you to use the fast travel function. I really wish the experience screen would just be like something that would pop up that you could see as you walked around instead of just stopping everything. Alrighty. And that there was a fast travel location to the hotel since you have to go there 900 times. Cough, cough, game padding. Cough, cough. I love that most of these sensitive conversations happen in front of an open window, too. And it seems like a lot of the Shinsengumi are kind of like suspicious of this guy, so you'd think they'd be spying on him. It's just kind of hilarious to me that they chose to do the information giving at the hotel in front of an open window pretty much every single time. Like, that's smart. Hilarious. I'm kind of surprised that with all the AI tech that's been coming out recently that there's no way for these speedruns to be like auto-moderated by like a machine instead of people. Like it could just be like a couple strings of code that check to make sure that the timestamps aren't being fucked with. And that would prevent a lot of cheating right there. But there are still weird things that happen, like people getting test builds of games and breaking it. Or using not completely updated versions of software. All kinds of fun little tips and tricks. Come on, buddy. Chop chop. Gotta go back to the hotel just to talk to her for 1 second. Love it. I need to go back to my room and talk to the other guy too, I guess. In front of an open window, most likely. Not that that matters very much with those, like, slidey doors. They have, like, no insulation for sound. A lot of those things are just covered in paper. I bought this like room divider for my old house where it was more of like an open floor plan because sometimes my husband would be at work and he works in anti-money laundering, so I can't have a recording device pointed at his computer because it's illegal. But I have that room divider thing that's made out of similar stuff. It's like a papery kind of substance and it's really easy to damage. Unfortunately, it got knocked over a couple times and got a little bit ripped. But it is surprisingly more durable than I thought it would be. But it still achieves the purpose of, you know, blocking out his stuff. But we have a new house now with more space, so he's mostly just, whatchamacallit, in a different room now when I do my recording, so it's a non-issue. Guess they took away fast travel again. Awesome. Usually it's because that guy pops up in the alleyway to talk to you. Oh no, this is a different scene. It's where that information broker gets stabbed in the back. Slash. That was a golden sneak walking around in daytime. It's kind of rare. Normally they come out at night. Alright, back to Mibu, I guess. Alright, let's go then. Okie dokie. I really wish the fast travel for this area was inside of that complex, so that you could avoid load screens. Warehouse is such a weird name for a building to me. Because where and house are words on their own. It's just like, where's the house at? Warehouse. I don't know. Just sounds weird to me. There was another word that was like in my brain the other day that has like multiple meanings. Forget which word it was though. But it's like spelled and looks the same. The only way you know like what it means is through context, which is just kind of funny. Like we have so many words in our language and it's just like, okie dokie. I think this is the one. Down by the river, if memory serves. Probably got about 2 hours left and then this run will be completed. God damn it. Okay, go away, buddy. Pardon me. Everybody wants something from you. Yeesh. I'm so glad that in my real life people are not like begging me for all these various chores that they need help accomplishing. But also living completely on the other side of the country from most of the people that I know kind of helps with that by default, because nobody is expecting you to hop on a plane to help them with a minor errand. Which is a good thing. But the bad part is you don't get to see him all that often. Or that could be even more of a good thing, depending on who you ask, or what the circumstances are. Ugh, hate interruptive cutscenes. People be trying to throw dressers at you like 2 or 3 times in this game. I'm like, why dressers? I guess it's because they're in a house. Somebody's house. I think this is the inn. I don't remember. I like that this big boy is just gonna be like staring at us, waiting for us to kind of finish our conversation. Oof. That would hurt. What a weapon that is. If you miss, like, you would probably leave yourself open for quite some time. It would not be probably a smart weapon to use against somebody with a katana or a knife, but what do I know? Oh yeah, and you're blocking that how? Find that one guy. Oh my god, I hate that so much. They couldn't find a more clever way to force me into a fight than have some random dude, like, pull me into a room. Got me. Oh, they got me again. So random. Time for this dingleberry. Yep, you're blocking those as you charge straight into my fucking face. You barely touched me and it knocked me to the ground. Yet my bullets do not stop you. What is this, chapter 7, chapter 8? This game feels like it has a bunch of arbitrary chapters that are not needed. no, I'm running out of water. I was kind of curious why it took so long for them to unlock the speedrunning categories for this game, too. Like, when a game first comes out, like, that's your best window, in my opinion, to get people interested and involved in this running community. Like, while it's still relevant. But they took, like, I think about a good month to unlock the categories for this game. They made it seem like it was in the effort of allowing the community to decide rules and things, but anytime I talked about anything in that speedrun group, like, people were not hearing me out, so they just were gonna do it the same way that they've always done it, and they just wanted to pretend to look like they were hearing the community out when in fact they were not. Which unfortunately happens a lot. Oof. Alright, let me move. So yeah, I completely bounced out of there. I have zero interest in going back in that particular speedrunning Discord. No thanks. I did have a world record for a different Yakuza game for a little while there. But somebody like beat the times by a really substantial margin. So one of two things happened. Either somebody found a way to skip something, or the more likely thing is somebody submitted a PC run in a console category, which is unfortunate, but it does happen. That's what I suspect was happening with the a different game that I speedran, because somebody beat my game by like an hour, and like there's no loading in that at all, so they must have used an emulator. I was just like, the fuck? I just honestly don't care enough to like get in fights with these people though, because they just always get so fucking immediately butthurt, and I just don't have the patience to deal with these motherfuckers when this is just my hobby. I'm not making money doing it, so... The people that are, though, almost always are cheating. Like, it's ridiculous. Not everybody, but there's certain games, like, where it just gets so competitive that it's almost kind of, like, demanded that you cheat. Those are not games that I speedrun, though. No thank you. Too much drama. Yeesh. Chatty Cathy over there. It's time for the dumbass with the stomach ache. I think this is another one of the unavoidable ones. Because you use this area so often to go run up to the fast travel dudes. That walking around it 20 times would probably be a waste of time over just dealing with whatever this crap is. I have a stomach ache, and no one can help me but you. Sorry, dude, you're on your own. Hi, little doggy. What you doing? Hi, big doggy. What are you doing? You just come in here to see your daddy? Is we have baby boy doggy? A fluffy pudding pie pants? So cute. You're so cute, Kumo. Who's my baby boy? You're my baby boy. Yes, you are. How you doing? He always looks like a little man puppy child, kind of, when he like does this cute thing where he stands up. It's adorable. Such a cute baby boy puppy child. Alrighty. Where are we going? Here. Oh yeah, this is when we get lured into an alley and ambushed. This is the bros night out part of the game. Just 3 bros hanging out, getting drunk. somehow Ryoma doesn't get alcohol poisoning. He's like, bring us all your sake, and I literally mean all of it. Pretty sure a bar would have enough on hand to kill a man, but they end up going to multiple bars. But sake isn't that high in ABV, so maybe you could survive it if you were a straight up alcoholic. Kind of reminds me of that movie, Thank You for Smoking. It's about a lobbyist for a tobacco company, and they try to kill him with a shitload of nicotine patches all over his body. And then, like, he somehow survives, and the doctor's like, the only reason you lived is because you used to smoke. And it's just kind of funny. Like, that is so bizarre, though, to me, that you could maybe give someone a tobacco overdose by, like, stamping a bunch of tobacco patches on them. It's wild. I don't know if that was just for the sake of the movie or if you could really kill somebody that way. But most drugs in a high enough quantity can kill somebody. So it didn't seem too far-fetched. Tell me what you know about him. Cosmo, be quiet. Driving me nuts. What are you two fighting over? We have like multiple dog toys and they always just fight over one of them, regardless of how many are near them. They're like, I want that one. It's the only one that matters. We could share, but no. Yeesh. Chop chop, you chatty bitches. I love it when that happens. The game likes to mess with your controller right about then. Like the camera wants to like have you look the other way for some reason, but like I'm going the other way, so it like spins you around. Alright, chop chop Adachi. Let me shoot you a couple times. My fingers are like gonna be in a permanent claw position from holding R1 and X. It's that one guy. Okay. Yeesh. Oh, how I hate it when they use the attacks that knock you over no matter what. He should be dead, but he's extra special. He gets a special little cutscene. Kotetsu. The mad dog howls. Definitely not a reference to a specific person at all. Is it this when we fight this guy? I don't remember. I think we fight him like 3 or 4 times. No, I think the first time we fight him is after we knock out the rich guy in the mansion with the fancy clothes. It always kind of baffles me when people like go out with like no agenda other than just like being out to be out. It seems like that happens a lot, and it drives me kind of nuts. Like, there were just a lot of people at Costco the other day when I was grocery shopping that were like, just had like 1 or 2 items, like various random nonsense, and I'm like, why the fuck did you come to Costco if you didn't need anything? Like, and it would be something that like, it's completely like not an emergency that you would need this particular item. Like, just get it off Amazon Prime or something. Don't get in your car and waste gas just to get some useless item. It's like weird to me. doing? We're already, like, where we're supposed to be, pretty much. It's just muscle memory, reflex at that point. I think I did that last time I ran the game, too. I was just like... because you just go back and forth between Mibu and Fushimi so many times. If you're ever speedrunning this game, that's the two most important places. So if you can't remember where you're supposed to go, go to Mibu or Fushimi. Because probably 90% of the time, though, that's where you're supposed to be. I think I'm gonna punch my way through these people with swords. Oh, sweet summer child. Oh, doggy. Didgeridoggo from Doggo City. Oh dang, you died fast. Alrighty. Yeah, I'm just pointed at the wall for some reason. Okay, game. Yeah. Ugh. Yeah, I wouldn't just like watch while this big old dude with that crazy hammer walks slowly towards me. I would be shooting first and asking questions later. Just like the police do. LOL. Not that I can honestly say I would blame anybody for that, like... Probably makes sense that you're gonna prioritize your own life over somebody else's. But yeah, the pretending that mental illness doesn't exist in this country is really stupid. Especially with regard to people that are repeatedly exposed to trauma, like police officers. Hooker. Stab me. Later, Tater. Come on now. After those boss fights, it just like sits there for way too long. I'm like, come on, let me move on. Let me move on. the Ark. Feud of the Ages, Chapter 9. Usually my dogs bark when, like, somebody's at the door delivering a package, but sometimes Cosmo just barks at nothing, which kind of cracks me up. I'm like, what are you barking at, buddy? It's a golden snack. Alright. Oh, I forgot. I'm supposed to go to the bar. Just fuck off, game. There were like 5 of them, but for some reason killing one made the fight end. Whatevs. I just hate it when any game puts a bunch of people like walking around that you can't get away from. It's like, is this really necessary? Yay, it's time for fist fight. And they got spanked like redheaded stepchildren.
副長、あんただ。 俺の本
4 chapters to go.
回数。
All that's really left is to go on the date and then do the final level, so we're getting there. We're getting close to the end. But yeah, we have like a boss rush at the end where we have to fight 3 of the Shinsengumi officers, and then I think there's like 4 bosses in the final dungeon. So there's a lot of bosses. Alrighty, last chapter.
さすがだな。
Alright, that's game. We got it under 340, so that's pretty cool. I don't know if there was too much I can honestly fix on that. But yeah, not so bad. I think someone did 226, like tool assist, 326 tool assisted in the Speedrun Discord. On PC though too, so probably better load times. Anyways, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.